Mr. President, I'm pleased to follow my colleague from Colorado who has come to the floor to recognize a very fine public servant who has been working with him in the Senate for years. I too, today, rise to speak of an Alaskan who has dedicated a quarter of a century to service in the United States Senate, working as my staff person down in Ketchikan, Alaska. And I would like to share a few comments with my colleagues on this occasion. It's a little bit of a happy occasion, a little bit of a sad occasion, and I think my colleague from Colorado would agree that when we have someone who has dedicated so many years, that we wish them well as they move forward, but their departure leaves a little bit of a hole for those of us who carry on. Today I rise to honor Sherrie who on June 1st began her 25th year as a Senate staffer in Southeast Alaska, based in her hometown of Ketchikan. Sherrie plans to retire from federal service on July 30th, after, again, a quarter century of service to her state. Now, for Sherrie, I think her retirement is very likely a cause for joy. It's going to give her more time to spend with her kids and her grandchildren, more time to devote to the many, many volunteer and civic efforts that she is engaged in Southeast Alaska. But it's going to be a sad time for myself, for Congressman Don Young. Sherrie has provided guidance to the Alaska delegation in Ketchikan, Alaska's first city, through a very interesting time. It's been somewhat of a turbulent quarter century, one in which the region's former economic mainstay, which is its timber industry, has sharply contracted, during a period in which the tourism industry has significantly grown, and during a period where its prospects of supporting major mineral development, I think, have substantially been. That's a good spot for us. It's been a period when the Ketchikan area, which is the 7th largest entity in our state, which is the only large community that is separated from its lifeline with its airport on a neighboring island, has endured somewhat unwelcome national attention solely because they seek dependable access by bridge. Now, Sherrie, over the years, has responded to tens of thousands of public and media inquiries, requests for help over everything from Social Security checks and visas to immigration documents. She's listened to thousands of complaints over access to Alaska public lands and to objections to many, many federal regulations, far too many to count here. Through it all, I think it's fair to say that Sherrie has been that proverbial energizer bunny. She has more enthusiasm, more energy than most people combined. She listens patiently. She works tirelessly to help all. She helps those Southeast residents and visitors deal with federal agencies, navigate the federal red tape, and then on top of it all, in that extra time, she volunteers to help her community and help her state be a better place to live and raise a family. Sherrie's volunteer efforts were recognized by the community when she was named Citizen of the Year back in 2005 by the Greater Ketchikan Chamber of Commerce. But her accomplishments go far beyond being named the Federal Employee of the Year, the Ketchikan Chamber of Commerce's Outstanding Chamber Emissary in 1991, its Outstanding Board Member in 1994, and its Chairman back in '96. She also received the Ketchikan Rotary Club's Community Service Award in 1994. She received the Ketchikan Federal Executive Association's Lifetime Community Service Award in 2006, received the Ketchikan Visitors Bureau Rainbird Award in 1990, and gained its Outstanding Service Award in 2006. I think you can tell from this list of accolades, this is a woman who doesn't sit still. This is a woman who seems to have more hours in her day than the rest of it. Sherrie is originally from Corvallis, Oregon. She's got a degree in elementary education from Oregon State University and also training in business and accounting from Lynn Benton Community College in Corvallis. She moved to Ketchikan in 1975, so she's been with us in Alaska, in Ketchikan, my hometown, for 37 years now. She is a mother of two, Brian and Teresa. She first worked for 8 years as the office manager of the Ketchikan Credit Bureau before she moved to insurance underwriting for 3 years. She then became the assistant sales tax auditor for the Ketchikan Gateway Borough for 5 years, and then spent a 6th year working as the borough's planning and zoning secretary. It was in June of 1988 that our former senator, Senator Ted Stevens, with encouragement with the other senator at the time, my father, Frank Murkowski, they plucked Sherrie away from local government to head the delegation's unified Southern Panhandle constituent office. So she has been there in that position since 1988, but in addition to all of the legislative work, the tasks that she has taken on for all of us, Sherrie has performed a dizzying array of volunteer services for her community and her state. Since 2004, she's been a member of the Ketchikan Pioneers Home Foundation, which is our state's main senior care provider. She was a board member of the Alaska State Pioneer Homes Board, a board member of the Ketchikan General Hospital Foundation. She served as chairperson of the Ketchikan Chamber of Commerce, chairman of the Ketchikan Rotary. She was the secretary-treasurer of the Ketchikan Federal Executive Association, and she was also the treasurer and vice chairman of Ketchikan Seroptimus, a member of the executive board of the Alaska Public Employees Association, and the state treasurer of the Ketchikan Gateway Borough chapter of State Employees and Political Information Committee. While active in local and state politics, Sherrie was also the founding board member of the Ketchikan Soccer League, the vice president of the Ketchikan Killer Whales Swim Club, the co-leader and day camp director of the local Campfire Girls program, a Boy Scout co-leader and a den mother, a leader for the local junior and senior high school's drill teams, and for 4 years was a board member, vice chairman, and chairman of the Ketchikan Theater Ballet. The latter position allowed her to express her musical loves, which include playing piano, organ, clarinet, and accordion. In her free time, after all that I have listed, in her free time, Sherrie also operated a part-time catering company. She was a partner in the Alaska Cruise Line Agency, which provides lectures to explain Alaska's history, discuss its scenery and wildlife, and answer tourist questions about the state as these voyages come up the Inside Passage. In that role, Sherrie has provided factual information to thousands of visitors to the 49th state, answering questions like whether or not visitors to Alaska can use American stamps on their postcards. She has truly been an ambassador for our state's tourism industry. And through it all, including organizing and staffing literally hundreds of federal official visits, congressional field hearings, and volunteer fundraising efforts, whether it's to aid breast cancer detection and treatment, Sherrie has maintained her calm, her poise, and her never-failing sense of humor and graciousness, not to mention her energy level. Her dedication to family, community, and career is universally recognized by friends and associates. I cannot thank her enough for her service to me during my decade here in the United States Senate, and her service to her fellow Alaskans over the past 25 years. Her intelligence, her knowledge, and her people-pleasing skills will sorely be missed in the future. I hope that all members here in the Senate will join me in wishing her well and Godspeed in her retirement pursuits. She has absolutely earned every one of her accolades and the true thanks of all Alaskans in the Panhandle for a job very well done. I'm pleased and delighted to have her here with her granddaughter, enjoying some of the Washington, D.C. hospitality, but again, cannot give thanks near enough to all the years of service that Sherrie Slick has provided to my state. With that, Mr. Chairman, I thank you. I yield the floor